Okay, I have hit go. It will
Genetic
be
things I can't change.
Probably better than where he normally put his finger, I guess.
Better than what?
Where you'd normally put your finger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know where that goes.
Right, hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Let's Draw Now. Tonight you are joined by none other than my little Tony.
Bonjour.
Everyone's favourite and old reliable Andrew / Frank.
hello.
Can we get a disclaimer from Curry Kitten?
Any views expressed by any guests on this show are personal and may not reflect the views of the host or participants of the show. And we're only saying that because we're now going to...
Andy RC.
Assholes.
And I'm Brighton Till I Fly. Good game last night, Curry.
Yes, don't forget to introduce me. Who am I? Who am I,
Curry,
goddammit?
I said,
exactly.
we're going to get an intro. No, we're going to get a disclaimer from Curry Kitten.
Yes, but you didn't say hello.
Well, you should have said hello and hello.
Well, after
disclaimer.
After that,
Everyone, Curry Kitten is here. Daddy is here.
It's all gone wrong. Stop the live stream. We'll start again and do it properly.
All right. Tonight, you're listening to another wonderful episode of Let's Draw Now. You're joined by Tony. Are you wearing an LDO t-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. We're joined by my little Tony.
No, don't really do it again, obviously.
We're joined by old faithful Andrew / Frank.
Hello.
How's the quest for the ironing board?
Still questful.
If anyone's got any hints or tips how to get an ironing board to London, let Frank know in the chat. We are also joined by Curry Kitten.
Hello.
And we're going to be introducing Andy RC, so can we have a disclaimer?
Any views expressed by any guest on this show personal may not reflect the views of the host or participant of the show. Thank you.
Are you really that angry at us, Andy RC? You are drinking, to be fair.
He's an angry drunk.
I know why he's drinking.
It's just. Well,
He's from up north.
this is called Vive Coke from Aldi. There's nothing wrong
Oh
with
my
that.
god, what the hell's
So
that?
how is
Alvin.
Evox doing? Are they releasing anything new and exciting?
Oh,
Should we get
EGI.
Andy's reason for being grumpy out the way straight away and
Yeah,
find out
let's
what
do
happened
that.
with the tree?
Yeah, what happened?
I've had a very prestigious special edition model failsafe over some trees. Spent 3-4 hours looking for it. It fail-safed over like 100-foot trees, and it's a micro, but it's the world's fastest micro, which should give you some clues to what model it was. Yeah, so only 100 being made, and so we got good sun up. We got good weather up here. It's the only 2 days in a row that we've had no wind or rain. It's either been blowing 20-30 mile per hour wind, and when it's not doing that, it's raining. So I took the silly decision to fly the model before doing the bench part, and it fell safe over top of a tree, and it's gone. So it's a shame. Yeah, it's the
Can you not see it or know where it is?
But surely your battery-backed beeper that everybody should install on all models must have been beeping, and you would have heard it.
Yeah, do you know what happened with that? It threw itself out of the model when it hit the tree, just like the battery. So yeah, that was away beeping on the ground nicely. But unfortunately, I found the battery. It had massive dents in
My
it.
bullshit detector's going off. I don't think you had a beeper in it.
No, do you know why? Because it sent the
Because it was a
model.
micro.
It doesn't come with one. Yeah, that's true. If it had one of those, it would. Yeah, but didn't you have a case where one of yours slung one of those beepers or something? I saw one of your. I actually watched your channel rather than nobody watching
Yes,
mine.
but I didn't crash the quad at the same time. I just happened to do this. I did like a roll over a tree, and because it wasn't attached properly, it sort of went zoom and acted like a trebuchet. It went flying off. But I landed the quad, and of course the beeper was beeping really loudly, so I just went and got that really easily because it was loud. So
yeah, well, I tried to sort of
and the quad had gone, that would have been a problem.
trying to break the unofficial speed record that I hold, and so one of those wouldn't have helped any extra weight and
No
stuff.
DVR.
Yeah, DVR got plenty. It's useless.
Or
Or
it's just like top of a tree DVR.
well, it's like a mini forest. So a tree is a tree. It's like it's 100 foot up, and quadcopters are. They might as well be designed to get stuck in trees as their second feature. First feature flying, second be as wedged into a tree as
I've rescued many of a friend out of a tree, to be fair.
I've rescued loads out of trees, but this one just
Well, because it's a micro, it's like.
I mean, I've got it. I've got the non-special edition here. This is the size of it, and it's 100 foot.
That's
up.
hard to see.
I mean, it's completely. This one had like a special edition black canopy, and yeah, I'm so gutted. I feel bad for it for Diatone as well. Like I apologize. Well, I say apologize, but it failsafe. I don't know why it failsafe because it was fairly close in. I imagine probably trying to do these speed runs, maybe the receiver browned out or something like that, or it's just unlucky. You can have fail safes just randomly, can't you? So.
I haven't flown a week and it's been absolutely gorgeous. I'm actually flying tomorrow afternoon / evening till it's dark.
Where are you flying to?
Just at our local field, but our local field has got the Tough Mudder in, so there's lots of obstacles and stuff to fly around this week. So I'm going to have a crack at that. Yeah.
How come you haven't flown all week with this nice weather, man? That's all I've been doing.
I've been out with my Vanessa's lunchbox in the evenings, and it's in bits because I've blown up the gearbox already.
Oh, this was that. Did you ever get what you actually wanted out of that thing?
Yeah, I bought it because it was a childhood thing I always wanted.
Yeah, but we went through you were live streaming. And
yeah, I built it with Danny on live, and then it was all on his channel. But no, we didn't get that to work. So reverse is a bit awkward on the Tranis, but it saves buying a turny, what would call it thing. So so it works. It's just a bit dodgy. But what I did was upgrade the motor straight away to a 15 turn, so it was a lot faster on 2S. And then last night I put a 3S in it, and it just couldn't do it. It was like I blew the cogs in the gearbox. So
no,
it's only like plastic gearing, isn't it? In those things,
it is plastic gearing.
Is it just little plastic discs now with no teeth on at all?
Well, there's teeth missing. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's a brass cog which is on the motor to plastic, which I find very weird. But yeah, I just overpowered it, and I need to. I ordered parts, so we're redoing it again, and I'm going to leave it at 2S with a 15 turn.
Is that why you haven't been flying then, Tone? You've been
I've just been mucking around with that. It's
what
like,
gave you the bug for RC cars?
Being a kid, it took me back to being 15 and being in school with the Tamiya brochures, just looking through it at the likes of the Hornet, the Frog. The grasshopper, and I always wanted either the Midnight Pumpkin or the Tamiya lunchbox. And
see, here's where I struggle with RC cars. You've got a Honda Integra Type R, one of the best road cars. It's a racing car basically with license plate. So that's attainable. Whereas flying, having my own plane isn't. So that's where I struggle with RC cars. If I want to go and be a bit naughty or whatever, just go on a track day or something like that with your car. Is there something different that I'm missing?
It's just a thing in the 80s that I wanted as a kid and never could afford.
Yeah, a bit like
so now I can. Now I can like. Oh, I remember that. I want to get one now.
So
is it going to be FPV'd as well, Tony? Or are you just
no. It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun. I'm going to get another one though because I like it.
So Tony's doing cars, I'm doing free flight, you're all doing wings, and the program's called Let's Drone Now.
We do a bit of everything. It's all about
It's
the
RC,
hobby.
isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
you
We
know?
are, when it comes to RC, we are, I think the term is polyamorous. Is that the right term?
We love many things.
We'll
Exactly.
we'll fuck with anything.
Eddie RC swore, editor,
Yeah, well, I've had
this
a
is
bad
your
day.
point to put in a beepy beep now.
I've had a
There you
bad
go.
day.
There's a hand.
Sorry, everybody.
I managed to fly
Well,
today. I flew the Lava X, which was quite good fun. Have you seen that? You've had that one,
Lava
haven't you, Andy?
X. Is that
Yeah.
what? Is that the game that you played as a kid where you jumped all over your mum's settee and said the floor is lava?
The lava's on the floor. No, it's another one of these little Happy Model
Another
2.5
micro
inch ones.
thing.
Is it a
Yeah.
Is it a toothpick, Wayne, or is it not?
No, they don't even suggest it's a toothpick. It's a proper 2.5 inch. Although
Yeah,
it's still got like the whoop type stack, the diagonal, slightly bigger thing.
interesting that yours has got the HQ props on. Did it come
Yeah.
with the Avan props?
No, what happens is if you look at the Banggood website right now, it's saying Emacs couldn't supply them with
Random,
enough props,
yeah,
so you
I
get a
saw that.
random HQ or Avant. So I feel quite hard done by having HQ props. HQs are quite good though, but
I couldn't quite get it dialed in. I think it's to do with all of the obstacles on the frame, and I sort of compared it to the struts on a tiny whip. You know, I kept getting. I mean, it flew really smoothly, but then you'd pull out of a split S, and you'd get a huge wobble. And I spent hours trying to tune that out, and no matter what I did, and Happy Model actually agreed with me. They're like, you're actually not the first person to say that. But if you're not bothered by stuff like that, which a lot of people aren't, I mean, the problem is, you know, it's kind of like I've been driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis for a while. So when you step into, I don't know, a Vauxhall Astra like I've got, then maybe you'll have some complaints. So I think as a model in general, it's great. I just couldn't get rid of the prop wash oscillations.
That's really interesting because I've been flying toothpicks for ages, and these little bi-blade things. You're not a fan of them, I know, because of the flutter. But going to this,
no, I'm a fan of them. I'm a fan of them. I just think you have to use the right battery for them.
Yeah,
which
I like the craziness.
And
But the preciseness of this one, when you go into like a split S and just pull round, it just stops. There's zero drift because it just holds the air. So I wasn't getting any bad wobbles coming out of stuff. But I did notice there was a little bit of gel on the camera, and I felt that the Runcan Nano, which I was expecting good things from, was a little bit red, a little bit like the Calyx EOS 2.
Yeah, I've been noticing that though. I think were you flying it? What time were you flying it? Because I've been noticing a little bit of red through the camera, but it's been at like golden hour. But if I fly
this was between 11 and 12. I flew this.
So you shouldn't be getting it then. No. The camera wasn't the problem. Maybe it's the props then, because I flew the Avan props, which are usually, you know, bulletproof. The Avan Rush, are they called, the 2.5 inch version? And yeah, I was getting a wobble, but I couldn't tune it out. So maybe the HQ props is the way to go. But my biggest problem with it was they sent me the FR Sky version, so I got a range of about 80 meters, and that was it. And it's got
what they had the SPI, because I said specifically when they said, "Do you want to try it?" I said, "Yeah, but I need a proper receiver." So I got the RXSR in that.
Well,
a decent one.
You see, they don't respect me. They didn't give me that. I didn't have that option. They give me the SPI one, and it's
well. To be fair, they said, "Okay, but if we give one to you, we'll have to only give the regular one to Andy RC." And I said, "That's not a problem."
How long until we get an Andy RC DJI nice talk about the HD system?
The problem is, Tone, it's I don't know if you've been watching if you've noticed, people have only made really short videos on it.
I want an in-depth Andy RC talk.
This is the problem, is like people, you'll hear that people say it's like learning to fly FPV again for the first time. And it really does go that deep. And I've been working on this video for about a month now, and I'm still finding new things.
Wow.
Like I'm going as far as finding out which each antenna on the goggle does what it does and what it doesn't do. There's nothing out there like that. So I'm going like the only problem is the video could be like, you know, an hour and a half long.
Maybe you should do it in 2 parts.
But I don't. Those never work. People like to binge watch stuff. They don't want to. Anytime I've done a series, it's bombed. I shouldn't use the word bomb on a drone jet, but that's like
because I walk around my house saying
you know what bomb. I don't.
Not bombs. Just say it's nuked. No, hang on.
Well, it's a term in America. If you're a comedian, if you go on stage and don't do very well, they say, "Oh, you bombed," you know. So that. But anyways, yeah. Anytime I've done. I did a Kiss series, which was like 4 videos long, and they got barely 1,000 views each, and I was like, man, I spent like a month on this stuff. So I'm like, no, do you know what? Yeah, I'll just shut my channel down for like 2 weeks. Well, it's and do the odd free flight in the middle, just, you know, so I don't go crazy. And yeah, so I'm hoping next week. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give a shout out to some people in the chat. So, firstly, my some special guests, which is Daniel and Michaela. Hello, Daniel and Michaela. And we've got Win Davis in the chat, Spider, James Cheryl, I think that is, Aries, of course, Win Davis, Numbskull FPV, Harry Haggis is in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Quickly post something and I'll read you out. Let me have a look. Drone Racers in chat. Southwest Kitty, FX Node, Richard Warwick's in the chat. Fruity Cakes, Mr. Frost. Hello, everyone. What's up? Thank you for tuning in.
Darnome, Win Davis, Richard Warwick.
Lurgy, what's up, Lurgy? Pesky,
Lurgy.
hello, mate. Haven't seen you for a while. You're getting fast on the old sticks. RD FPV's in there. Son and Dad FPV. Clive, Sly Fox, James, and Dave Story.
Southwest Kitty beat Clive FPV here tonight. Bit weird.
Oh, he's weird.
Can I take the opportunity of a slight break in the chat to see if everyone on the stream can still hear me? Because I've tried to fix an echo.
Yes, I can hear. We all can hear you.
I know everyone on the call can hear me, but I'm wondering if everyone on the stream can hear me. And if you can, type Bob.
Let's see. Oh, there's a Bob from Carry Kitten, but that's not helping us. It's not.
No, you just totally ruined it because people will write what he wrote.
Double A says, Andy, is it because it's a title thing? No.
Yeah, they can hear it. You're okay, Bob. There's some. It's going on mental now. Yeah, it sounds. Bob,
anyway,
Bob.
You can't say mental.
I'm either going to step on a landmine and get a dirty look from Frank, or it'll be okay and you'll be able to elaborate.
This would be bad.
How's things been with your new best friend, Painless?
Someone's getting jealous.
Oh, I went to see Lee last week as well.
Hey, Jack.
Painless, if you're listening to this, I hope that you laugh so much you got the back end out of the old MX-5.
Oh man, I was like, yeah, he took me out in his MX-5, and I was like, smile from
Did he
ear
make
to
you give
ear.
him a hand job?
Say again.
Nothing.
I just heard hand job, and I was like, what? I missed the other
I think
bit.
the more subtle thing.
Of course you'd pick up on that.
Ear stick, something like that.
I tell you what, that Mazda MX-5 is a beast. And Tony, it just brought back memories of the Integra. You know, the MX-5, that especially like the Mark 1 used to be known as like a hairdresser's car. This thing was a beast, man. Man, Yeah,
I'd still kick its ass.
I'm not. On a
Come on, Integra or a Mazda.
But no, dude, it is next level.
Oh, whatever. I'll race anyone any time. Especially painless.
No, I was amazed at the grip, but maybe it's just that because I've been.
You haven't been out in my car.
I've been integralist for
exactly.
eight years. So
you got in painless's car. But this is good. But
Jack, didn't you fly something this week? Do I have a vague memory of when I talked to you on the phone? I may have been slightly tipsy. Yeah,
drunk.
Didn't you say you flew something like a wing or something?
Yeah, I flew both my wings. No, actually, I didn't fly the S800, but I brought it along. Someone else flew that, my buddy Sheldon. But yeah, I got the old Tech Sumo up. There's something about having a meter-long FPV wing that I really enjoy. And the S800
making up for something else, is it?
Well, that's what I say about fast cars, Andy.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong. All I'll say is, I've only gone 220 horsepower, no more. So that's standard in today's cars, isn't it? So
yeah,
I would describe my cars as bog standard. Jack will understand.
So how's things going with your little friend, Painless?
We recorded another registration update video last night. That will come out soon. Yeah, all good. I've been trying to organise this wing meet that we were talking about last time he was on, but the problem is that this map of the UK and where everyone is and how far people are willing to go and Andy's and Jack's don't overlap anywhere. That's the problem.
And Painless.
I mean, Lee's got he's got the furthest to drive than anyone, but he's probably mentally stronger in a car than I am, especially if it's an MX-5, against my Astra. I always say anytime I get to somewhere in my car, I give it a little clap that it made it there. It's still going somehow, but it's an 07 Astra and it's on its last legs, bless it. Still
my car is so old. 2000. It's like going to be 20 years old next year.
Yeah, but it's a classic tone. You could sell it for 14 grand.
I'm kidding. I'm actually thinking about selling it because I want a camper.
Don't
actually appreciate it since you've had it.
Yeah, it's gone up.
Wow.
I've earned money.
I sold my Integra for 2 grand. You cannot buy them now for under 11 grand, and I am. Can you imagine?
Do you want to buy my car? 20 pounds.
You might be able to sell it to Andy.
No, do you know what? I can't justify spending 14 grand. Well, in general, but
I'll give it to you for 10 mates rates. You can have it.
You only bought it for 6, you git, or whatever it was. 8. I mean, 8 is amazing. What annoys me is there were only 22 new.
How much of betting this is a text saying stop talking about cars? Yeah.
Who's it off, Andy?
I haven't texted Jack.
Sorry, let's carry on.
But if you want to sort of segue into it nice and neatly without mentioning it at all, I managed to go wing flying at the weekend without a car. I took the Bonsai on the train and flew with Fraser Steam at, of all places, Wormwood Scrubs. Which
did you not get?
Did you drop any keys and stuff or files? Andy, Frank was dropping files over Wormwood Scrubs.
Andy, did you not get stoned to death with a drone on a train? Christ, I'd rather have a gun or something,
Well, I mean, it was only the Bonsai, and it was strapped to the back of my bag. But so Wormwood Scrubs.
I bet it looked like you were trying to fly.
It was the other way around.
Okay. They'll be like, he's not gonna fly. It's the wrong way around. Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so Wormwood Scrubs is where there is a prison, but there's a massive, like the Scrubs is a scrubland, so it's a huge space, and part of that space is a designated model flying field. Interestingly enough,
I'm curious there's so many surrounding areas of prisons which is a no-fly zone, and this is a designated fly zone.
I
Yeah,
can
it's a
really
bit
smell toast. I think I'm having a stroke.
If only.
Are you just cooking toast? Is that the
No,
other?
no, I think it is coming from outside. Oof.
Have you checked your lipos?
Have you checked neighbours?
But yeah, so Wormwood Scrubs is a prison, but also a big area where there is a model flying field. And yeah, we went and flew there. It was a really nice day, blue skies all over. And so we started off, there's just a few of us with some wings. And then there was a couple of guys with a flight test mini guinea, or it might have just been a proper guinea pig. Came along and were dropping things out the back of that, and I donated some streamers to that. And then
Really?
a guy with a Mavic Pro came along and was flying that, and then someone else with a 3D heli started flying that as well. So we had like this field, like there's no like specific organization there, but we just got kind of all things flying all over. And then we were looking, well, a couple of people were flying. I was looking around, and there was a car on the field, and it was making a beeline for us. And it was a white car, and as it got closer, it was very clearly a police car.
White car with a red, what a blue. God, come on, Tony.
I think why you've
Blue
got a plane
flashing
dropping
light.
stuff next to Wormwood Scrubs. What could possibly be?
Yeah.
My question was going to be, how many grams did you drop over the prison?
What? How many files did you have in your back pocket?
Yeah, so yeah, sort of
I'm not answering the question. I love it.
called out that the you know there's police coming.
It's the Rozzers you shouted, isn't it?
Where does that come from, and does anyone know?
Bottom, isn't it? It's the
Is it?
Rozzers.
No, it's just. I think it's just like me and Jack were talking about it because up here we call them the busies. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I call them the Rozzers, but I think it comes from Bottom. Watch
No,
out, it's the Rozzers.
Well, Bottom got it from somewhere, obviously.
Yeah, but
Anyone know where it stems from? Because I'd love to know. Because I said that the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, I hope it's not offensive." And I'm
Oi,
gonna...
Jack, you're Southern. Where does the term Ross?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's.
Why are you bloody shut? This is what it's like.
I don't even think it's Cockney. So
No,
I
it's
can't.
not.
Unless it's Cockney, I can't.
It probably shaped.
I
Probably
mean, what
shaped
rhymes with
here.
Rozzers? Nothing.
Knobbers. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Rozzers, tossers, cozzers.
According to the internet, the police are known as Rozzers, as the fuzz is a slang term for police, possibly deriving from a mispronunciation or corruption of the police force or the force. I don't quite know how that gets to Rozzers, but
No, it doesn't.
There's probably about 3 things in the middle that we're missing. But Andy, I want to ask you, because I wish you were on the show last week, because you put out, was it yourself that put a post out, or BMFA put a post out saying, halt on the registration thing?
Yeah.
Can you do a brief? I know you've done a video with friends, but can you give us like an overview for Let's Drone Out?
Do you think he's crashed his car yet from laughing, or do you think he's actually mad? Are we gonna get?
I tell you, Painless, he's got a handle of that car, man. You could say it. I was saying anything to him, and he's a good driver, man.
First, whoever gets let's have a sweepstake. Whoever gets a phone call first wins a £5.
Best friend wins.
Well, from Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have a look at my. No.
Yeah, it's probably Andrew now. Like Frank, bloody friends.
Ooh, best friend.
Well, anyway,
carry on. We went off for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Come on, BMFA.
So what happened with the Rozzers, which, by the way, dates from the 1800s?
What was that?
Is it Polari or is it Cockney? Do we know yet?
We don't know.
No. But as a very, very short summary of the video with Lee.
3 words. Get it down to 3 words. I'm kidding. Go on.
Wait for now.
Wait, brilliant. Yeah, but why? Why?
That's going to have to be more words.
Well, you can. I'm allowing more words. I don't run it. It was just a silly thing. Like I instantly regretted saying it.
So last time I did a video with Lee on registration. BMFA were trying to, well, and the other UK model flying associations were organising things with the CAA, and then those talks fell apart, and now they're talking again. So they've suggested, the UK model flying associations have said to all their members, hold off of registering until the end of November, or they update you, whichever comes first.
Yeah, it's so difficult doing videos on this stuff, which is why sort of people always want my opinion on it, and I just say like it changes month by month, so it's so difficult for me to justify, this is my opinion when like everything's thrown out of the window like the next month. So it really is just wait and see what happens, isn't it?
Pretty much.
And then it seems like there's this note, this is how it's going to be, it's going to be this and this, and then no, yeah, forget all that, that's, we're not doing that anymore. And it's like, hang on, you made a whole video series on it. It's must be tricky to navigate around that kind of thing.
Yeah. So in fact, it's changing so quickly that we've already scheduled in filming
Another one.
Date, friend.
We're having so much fun. We just want to keep making videos about it.
Andy, you've got to make up to Lee's place, man. I tell you, if there's only two people's lives I'd swap with, it would be Wayne or Lee. They've got it. They've got the life, man.
We've got it. You can't have it.
You've got it. I tell you what. Do you want to tell you? I'll tell you where my life is. It's 100 foot up, stuck in a tree over there. And when it starts to rain, I'll just.
Who's flying this weekend?
My life's Curry Kitten's toilet, and it's been flushed away. That's where
Who's flying this weekend? Because by the looks of it, it's probably going to be the last nice weekend of the year.
Don't say that, Terence.
I'm pretty sure we got a hurricane coming, so take.
You're pretty sure.
Do you remember that? Do you remember Michael Fish and that?
1980. What year was it? 80.
No hurricane coming. Don't be silly.
Yeah, exactly. Take it from me. Fly this weekend because autumn will be upon us on Monday afternoon.
Well, I might find my quad if autumn comes pretty quickly, because then all the leaves will disappear, and I might see it.
Although the race is going to be happy about your weather.
The British. Yeah, it's the British champs this weekend. I'm not going to go down. Is anyone going down to the British champs?
Well, the fact that you're saying down and you're already down to me.
Is anyone going up to the British champs?
Where is it?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Paxton, but I could be wrong.
Where's that?
Yes.
So
just go out and fly is all I'm saying, because this lovely nice bit of weather is not going to last past the weekend. So my advice to everyone is
it's quite a prediction, because normally the weather forecast can't get like it right in one day, but Tony has like decided for the next 4 months. That's it.
I'm a glazing hygienist. I need to know what the weather's doing, and the weekend's going to be nice. And if
there's no hurricane, can we call you Fish from now on?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was his name, wasn't it? Was it Michael Fish? Was it?
Or Fishy? Tony, from then on, will be called Fishy for the rest of the year.
Well, whatever weather you've been getting in your country, it's been completely different here, so I wouldn't listen to anything. This doesn't pertain to me whatsoever. It's been hurricane weather throughout the year. The difference is the houses are made of brick here, so when it's 70 mile/hour winds, it's just like,
Florida and don't have to emigrate.
Just hold your hat a little bit. and then it won't blow off, and then the houses will.
Be
Maybe
careful when you use your outside toilet up north, but other than that, it's not too bad, I guess.
most outside toilets are being converted to.
What to brick buildings?
To a second level.
I was letting you finish that one off.
I just did.
Do you want
Run out
to
of stuff. Nothing happening.
Do you want to hear the end of my story with the Rozzers?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Interrupted.
Yeah, well, that
What
went on for
happened?
ages.
Let's say other words. The filth. They say that in bottom as well, don't they? The filth.
The filth.
What else do they say? Somebody said the c word rhymes with Rozzers.
Which used to be the pigs when we were at school, I'm afraid.
Pigs, yeah,
Very
that was one.
Pigs, yeah.
The Rozzers.
Please let Frank talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want some more names for police now. Anyone in the chat? Can we have some more names?
I wonder if there's
So
some
shut up and let Frank tell the story, because I want to know. He may have been arrested and had his.
I'm
Bottom
shouting
break,
over
of
Frank while they come into the chat.
what like in
You-
some American terms.
You can mute me if you want, but I'll do sign language.
What about French? Les flics? Les flics.
That sounds appropriate.
BT Plod, Drone Racer says.
Plod, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the plod made a beeline for us over the field. So everyone kind of landed. It was like, oh, what's going to happen?
The fuzz. Carry on.
There were
Over the top.
two of them. One of them was not having any of it. He was not happy. He did not like the idea of any of what we were doing.
The peelers.
Bacon apparently as well, because pigs, bacon. Sorry.
Everyone, shut up! I want to hear the.
And that's been the end of the show this week. Tune in next week. Let's
let everybody. Let's let.
Always
Andy talk.
leaving wanting more, Frank. You've done it.
the cliffhanger. Yeah.
Okay, so the Rozzers approached in a white car, which is unusual. Carry on.
Yeah. So they're just sort of straight over kind of the runway bit of this model field at us. And then, got out. Two of them, one of them very unhappy, being like, what do you think you're doing? But they weren't saying, like, you shouldn't be flying. They were saying there's this specific area that you should be flying in. We've had reports by a dog walker that you were flying further out. Don't do that. These are what the poles are for, is marking the area. That was basically all they were saying. But one of them was very unhappy about everything. The other guy, we just like gave him a chair and some FPV goggles and carried him flying and just gave him a ride for 5 minutes, and he was loving it. But then again, he had just come off a holiday in Switzerland paragliding, so he was kind of into that sort of thing.
Yeah, that does help. But that's generally the reaction from police, isn't it? You see it online a lot. You know, they turn up and they're like, "What's going on here? Oh, can I have a look?" Funnily enough, my postman did the same to me. He was like not understanding what all these packages were coming to my house, and he was like, and then he saw me on the field flying. He was like, "Oh, so all these packages are drones?" I was like, "Can I have a look?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, man. Like you're the only reason that I get this stuff. You're the one that should be prioritized in my, you know." And he loved it. So I don't know. Maybe I can get my postie into it. You know. But
I want to go back to the police story because I'm interested in what the response was to say. A dog walker has told us that you're flying outside the poles. Presumably the poles are on the floor and you're up in the sky.
Yes.
And thus the dog walker doesn't know what he's talking about. So when you said, "Oh no, we're not," did he say
Frank
something?
probably went, "You don't need to answer that."
You don't.
Yeah. Frank,
Have you tracked down the full social media profile and got documents on him?
I have the current GPS locations of the dog. So we just sort of, tried to be as friendly and.
So nobody checked what was in your bums then.
No.
That's my job.
For me, that is a positive drone experience.
Yeah, it was perfectly reasonable. Convinced one guy that it was quite fun, and got the other guy to leave us alone. It all worked out all right.
That's great. I'm yet to be approached, but I do wonder if the whole the regulations and things like that will prompt more of that sort of thing. What's going on over there, sort of thing. But the fact that you're quite close to a prison probably had a lot to do with that.
I imagine that didn't help, but it's the polls are there. It says you're allowed to fly in that area, so
I would like to see Andy RC accused of injuring trees on purpose with drones to see what would happen.
Well, I'm all for it. In fact, that was my first concern, because I think trees are just things like people. We just can't communicate with them in a way that we can communicate with each other. So, on behalf of the tree community, I'd like to apologize for getting wedged in between you and any leaves that I destroyed. It's yeah. Trees lives matter.
From the community of trees, we're dropping our leaves, so it doesn't matter that much, Andy. Thank you for that. But yeah, we give you air.
The leaves we worried about is the 4 squirrels he killed on the way through.
I need to go now.
No squirrels.
I remember
around here.
how angry Tony got when a friend of ours accidentally killed a pigeon.
That was horrific.
That
I
was-
saw that FBV.
What happened? You killed the pigeon.
No.
We don't talk about it.
That's
But if you ever meet us in real life and Tony's not around, then ask us.
That's all I want to know about now, obviously.
Tony, take your headphones off.
Do you know every time I do a video and a bird comes into shot and you don't chase it, but you kind of sort of like follow it. You get the social justice warriors like, oh my, you're traumatizing the bird.
I'm an avid animal fan, and I've thrown around seagulls and chased.
Yeah, Tony chases the birds and not just the feathered kind.
Yes, I chase them, and that's all what happens. Chase, and that.
Speaking of which, old NJ ran into your sort of territory, Andy RC, with the old demented comment.
Yeah, well,
posted on.
Yeah, you have to kind of block that out now. Yeah, I'm trying to find better ways to communicate with people, but it's hard.
This show probably isn't helping, seeing as Frank doesn't get to speak.
I had a guy this week, actually, funnily enough, who he thought so. This was a diatone product as well. So, I mean, I don't say that like, oh, look at Jack yawning at me just talking.
Sorry, what? Hello?
Right.
What? Diatone? Oh,
well, I like
suspiciously like Emacs.
I feel like Andy's got a new employer all of a sudden. He's
Oh,
just
no. I definitely
moving from company to company.
If they were an employer, I definitely lost them today by planting one at the highest top. They made 100 of these things, and I planted one of them at the top of a tree indefinitely.
Just think how much the other 99 are worth now. You did them all a favour.
Yeah.
Have you got a DVR at least?
I've got DVR. In fact, I've got the
Hey, Don Robinson's in the chat. Hello, Don Robinson. Happy birthday, my friend.
Birthday, Dom. Thank you.
Today is
Happy
Don
birthday.
Robinson's birthday.
Hankinting.
He's obviously been let out of his cage, his little sex dungeon, and yeah, like he's listening to the show.
Sorry, Dom.
Thanks for everything, Dom.
Yeah, you're the reason we're here.
Thanks, Don.
Behind the scenes, good guy. He's been on before, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What was I? Oh, it's calling him.
He knows. He knows the link to be on the show.
Yeah, that's why he's not on here.
Yeah, is that why he's not answering?
Oh, there you go. You're looking to be on air, and I'm here as well.
Yeah. Hello, how you doing?
All right.
Happy birthday.
I can't listen to what you're saying to me on air and on the phone at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday,
About a minute
Dom.
behind.
You can come on if you
Straight
want.
on air. All right, well, I'll find the link. Hold on.
All right, see
I
you
should
sec.
know the link. I built the system, didn't I?
Yeah, thank you, Dom.
I
See you in
need
a
a
bit.
wait. Over a wait.
Oh, no one paused it on that bit and see Dom's credentials. I just realised when it hangs up, it shows his.
Have you thanked everyone, Jack, for being a Patreon yet?
No, no,
We'll
I'm not
do
happy
that.
with them. We need
After-
another 2 people
after
to
some
read out their name, and I want to be annoyed. There better be 2 people at once instead of just one, because then we'll have to re-record it twice.
Go on then, Jack. Patronize them now. This is your opportunity.
Thank you for everyone who donates to Patreon or donates, and we like fireworks. It keeps the show running. It also makes Frank's life a lot easier. We're looking at maybe making some merchandise. Well, all right, maybe not that easier, but it makes you less wanting to kill us.
We are doing merch though, Frank.
What merchandise? This is news to me.
Well done, Tony. I'm glad.
Well volunteered.
I'm going down to.
No, you're not allowed down here. I told you.
I'm looking forward to this live stream, Tony.
I'm not doing it live.
Live.
I'm going to help Frank, Jack.
I told you, it is. Instead of a live unpacking, it's a live packing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm not.
It'll be easy.
No.
Anyway, we're doing merch. What's up, Dom?
Tony. You look less shaken
Thank
than
you,
I do,
everyone.
Tony.
Happy birthday.
Right,
What did you get? Did you get anything nice?
Coffee machine.
Let's all sing happy birthday. I'm going to take tenor. Tony, if you take soprano.
Okay, I totally understand what you're saying. Let's go. I think we should all sing now, though.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, why not?
Can I donate for that not to happen?
If you donate a $5, we won't sing, and you have to light a firework.
Done.
Right, we'll do it then, because otherwise we are going to sing.
Frank, can you just take the $5 out of what LDO owes me? No, Aries has covered me. Nice one, buddy.
Oh, man. I was ready
We won't sing.
I was ready to stretch my chords there.
I said chords, not penis.
Thanks, Aaron.
Don't you just hate it when someone just goes, happy birthday? It's like, oh.
Happy birthday, Dom. How you doing?
I'm all right.
He's not looking. He's not even here.
He's in the bog.
I've stepped away from the screen so you don't burn me. Don't want you burning me. Oh, the wife says hello.
Fire or burn as an insult.
Did you have a day off, Dom?
I did, yeah. I ended up. What did I do?
That's definitely a birthday thing, isn't it?
Oh, your wife?
Yeah, it's the missus is here. Hold on. People are talking to me.
Hello.
What the hell was that came up on the screen that said no longer sponsored by Diatone? Did you do that?
There you go.
Did you do that?
Maybe.
I was watching the stream back and it came up not sponsored by Diatone. Dom, did you do that?
No comment.
How did they do that? That was awesome.
Emax. Can we have one for Emax?
Oh, there is I'll tell you, I could probably tell you the date. On the 26th of September, there's going to be some new Emax products. That's the amount I can say. And
we got another $5.
Hopefully they don't end up in a tree before I get to check them out.
Oh, man.
Another $5 from Win. Thank you, Win.
I'm getting through these.
I need to sing far, far away. I don't understand.
To start with, Andy.
Sing, you little bitch.
Talk about it on your bed, then do the flying.
Yeah. It's hard though when it's blowing 70-mile-per-hour winds, you know.
Thank you, Win. There's your firework. Thank you very much. I really need to wait. How long have we got? 10 minutes? I can't last 10 minutes. I'll be back in a minute. Where is mute?
Too much info, Tony.
I'd just like to remind everyone that Tony is now touching his penis.
He says he's going for a wee as well, but we all know what Tony's addiction is, and we all know where he's actually going. He'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Dom, what was flying in South America like? Is it pretty much the Wild West and you can do what you like?
Well, yeah, it's a sort of mixed bag, actually.
What's with your camera, Dom?
I've fucked it up so that you can't see me doing illegal things on air. So there.
No, it
But
don't matter.
basically, yeah, it's
He looks like that, you know, when they like have those victims that don't want to be shown on TV. He looks like one of those.
all sorts.
Tom,
of
you could be
variations of it.
doing anything. I
Yeah,
mean,
how about that? How about
you're
that?
you're just
Steve-
smoking tobacco. I've got no idea what you're on about.
No, I
Jack
thought it was
smokes
great.
Jack smokes crack on the show, and he's open about it. You know?
Well, he doesn't share it, so it's just I don't want you guys to know because you'll all be pleading for some. I've run out of crack tonight anyway, so. But yeah, yeah, Carrie, it was good, man. It was there's very easy to fly, very big scale out there. I did a 4K 350 meter run, which isn't bad for a Mavic. So I think it was a little bit beyond line of sight. And frankly, I was 40
Well, that's worse
kilometers
than taking crack. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call the authorities.
Well, frankly, I was 40 kilometers from the nearest tarmac, so I wasn't very convinced that any Gatwick police were going to be driving out and accosting me for doing it. So I just went hell for leather, and it was awesome. Really good. Well, you've seen some of the scenery. It was beautiful scenery, good flying, perfect conditions. And it was really good to run the Mavic ragged. Actually, I wish I'd taken a racer as well, but to be honest, if I'd taken a racer, I would have downed it out there because I'd have just flown it.
Is this the Mavic? Is it the Mavic 2, Dom? The Mavic Air? The Mavic 1?
It's a Mavic. It's a Mavic Air.
Mavic Air. Have you done the hack on it for the FCC thing?
No, it makes it joined in.
It's going to be like, oh, hello, you're in FCC land.
You haven't done it?
No.
You don't need to. I've had them out to like 2 kilometers easy without the hack.
Well,
you don't need
yeah,
to.
no, this is just on the. I didn't do any hack or anything. It just on the settings thing. It's got a thing which says, are you sure you want to set the limit to 500 meters? And I was like, yeah, I am.
Oh, you're talking about the height, right? Okay.
Thank you, Rob
yeah,
for your donation of $2.29. Thank you very much. Sorry for interrupting, but I have to if someone donates. Thank you very much.
Andy, just to clarify, can we still do 1,000 feet line of sight?
As long as it's not a multi-rotor.
Oh, right, fair enough. So this Mavic, it was a single prop thing, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like
so you can do it with a plane, but not a quad.
Yeah, it seems strange, doesn't it?
As long as your plane's got no autopilot.
No, you can fly it with flight controller, anything like that. As long as it's you can fly it with FPV up to 1,000 foot. As long as it's not a multi-rotor.
Well, I thought there was a specific thing about you're not allowed to have an autopilot in order to.
Nothing about that in there.
That makes zero sense. It's so much better to have an autopilot if you're gonna go.
Well, frankly, the goat
beyond
farmers in the outback where I was really didn't give a shit about the laws, so I just went for it, and it was quite interesting that I took the 500 meter limit off the Mavic, but at 362 meters or something, it went, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm coming home, and that was just on a vertical pop up, and
because it limits the power, you see, but there's a hack that just.
No, it doesn't, though, Andy, because if you're in a country other than the EU, then it will say, oh, we've noticed with this geo thing, you're in this country. Do you want to swap to use this? And that will allow extra power and extra frequencies. And the trick is.
Can you explain how you know that?
Because I took mine to America, and it said this.
Oh, yes, America.
And when you come back, it said, do you want to take it off? And you said, no.
No, okay, I'll just carry on as it is, thanks.
Yeah.
That was good though. And
If
distance-wise, I did 4 kilometers out, which was great. I stuck it in sport mode and just pushed it right out. I went to about 4 kilometers one side.
That's interesting because
straight across my head and out the other way. So I've got this 8 kilometer run, which is fab. It's really nice.
In CE mode, it's only supposed to do 2 kilometers. So That's interesting. And then FCT is 4 kilometers.
Wouldn't be in C mode, would it? Because it would pick up the fact he's in a different country and swap
Oh,
over.
what country were you in, Dom? Sorry.
Brazil. In Brazil.
Well, you can go.
Oh yeah, no, I
They
wouldn't
got
have
no
done that,
limits there, have they? It's like
Well,
you
yeah, you sort
do
of
what you
say that,
want.
right? So there's two sides to that coin. One of them was after the event, went and had a proper dig round for the rules, and it's seen that you have to be a commercial pilot, fly lower than 30 meters, and only at approved aerodromes, according to some sort of self-appointed body that regulated it. But then, more importantly, I spoke to a relation a family relation who's an MP out there, military police, and he was very much of the opinion that if they didn't stop you with big guns, then no one else was going to. So that was the way it was. So we actually got into a long chat about flying over some favelas and doing some 3D models in favela, which we might go back and do next year. Certainly not somewhere I'm going
What
to
was
go.
the name of that street?
Corre ou morre, which is Portuguese for run or die. So you don't want to go wandering in there, but white boy with even white boy with Mavic has to plan to go up in an armored vehicle and stuff. So if I ever do that, I will be coming back on the show and showing my video off to you lot. I did, however, meet someone at the conference last weekend, a chap called Craig. Man, I have seen some dodgy photos from the drone flyers before, but this was amazing. He just started flicking through his iPad, and it was Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower, Sydney Harbour Bridge, all through the cloud. Amazing. But that was from the 2013, 2014 era before the laws got heavy.
Probably all right then.
Yeah, amazing photos. It really took me back to when it was all exciting and you could fly anywhere without a sense of being assassinated.
Yeah, that was good times.
But I strongly recommend trying to muster a group of people to go up to the northeast coast of Brazil, because there's loads of amazing flying places. The only problem with a racer is if you drop your racer in the outback, A, it's a big place and finding it might be quite fun, but B, rattlesnakes, lanceheads. So that was why I didn't fly.
Send Jack in.
That was exactly my problem. That was exactly my problem today, man. I mean, I landed in the canopy. There were huge spiders. There were little midges.
Daddy long legs were
out.
Daddy long legs.
Daddy long legs.
God.
And I was like, F this, man. This Daito model. The forest can eat it, man.
Too scary for me, man.
Exactly. You know that I relate to that.
I'll tell you what, right? I've seen a few. If we get those two name shout out donations fulfilled in our Patreon, so if you go to Let's Drone Out /Patreon, and if we get 2 people to subscribe to the whole pay for the editing, because at the moment, Frank, do you know whether LDO is running at a deficit because of the lack of Google Hangouts?
I think we're just about breaking even, but we need
even. Yeah.
Even the word deficit, man, it's like, oh, you took it. It sounds like
Brexit, like, isn't it?
I was going to say something like
well, if we get 2 people on there that donate, I will promise those 2 people will get #free Danny shirts and have a word with Dom and sort out.
I was going to mention that because somebody said in the chat that when Tony went away for a pee, that he was just checking on his captured. It was Mr. Fruity Cakes, his captured best friend Danny, to make sure that he's okay.
Very good. Very good.
And then we will sell #free Danny shirts.
I'm going to cut loose because I'm going to jump over to TTNS in a minute. But before I do,
who's on?
Software. I don't know yet. I haven't been over there yet because as soon as I go there, I'll get
TTNS?
stuck. The Thursday night
show.
Oh, well,
LDO's birthplace.
I'm not good. I'm not good with acronyms. That's why.
There we go. But before I split, I will get you a trial. I'm going to get you a trial of a piece of software to play with as a group, which I think you'll enjoy, called Dazzle. And let me know if that spurs some excitement, because it's a very nice vision mixer which allows you to take the demos. We're all using lots of drone shots sent in from around the world and allowed somebody to centrally mix it. I will bore you with that off air. I'm sure it's boring your lovely audience. But
no, nothing. This audience is rock solid when it
They're
comes to
very much
boredom.
used to it. Don't worry. They can take
We
it.
love our audience.
I'll check out Dazzle, and I know the guys who are running it, so I'm going to try and blag LDO a test account at least, or a free account, to do some interesting events on.
Oh, sweet.
It's got to involve
Cool.
sending Mavic,
Thanks,
sending live video into it from drones, because it does look rather good when it's done with that.
Well, yeah, you can do that with the latest DJI camera drones, can't you? You can live stream from them
straight into something like OBS, and this is a bit like OBS, but it runs entirely in Chrome. It's quite quirky.
From what I've seen, it's not that great though. It depends on the one that you've got, because the Mavic Air's Wi-Fi, isn't it, and the Mavic 2's OcuSync.
So Dazzle have got a nice little app which I think hooks into some of the drones and others.
Dazzle with 2 Z's and no E. DAZZL.
That's it, yeah.
That's what I call my friend Darren. Fun fact.
How was your buddy? You cut the cord.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Andy RC.
Oh yeah.
Friend.
Yeah. So
I've got to go, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Dom. Love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dom.
Happy birthday. Have a good one. Hope you get a blowjob.
Lucky I'm headphones, isn't it?
Your AirPods.
Yeah, so for it's been really tricky actually. As I said, we've had really terrible weather, and every Tuesday we have access to this indoor sports hall, but when it becomes daylight saving times, it can be light until 10 o'clock at night. So my friend Phil, I made a video on it. I showed how to hook up a buddy box and everything like that, and I was teaching him how to. I gave him a Tiny Hawk and made a video on that, and he sort of grasped it and everything. But then when we got to go outside, there's such a huge space. It is a massive space. It must be. I don't know, maybe
I've got a Tiny Hawk question for you and Curry Kitten. I know we're
going to have to wait for next week, I'm afraid.
Oh,
cutting this off.
Cliffhanger, he's the master.
Cutting this off, man.
And on next week.
I tried bringing some drone content.
I just want to say,
can you upgrade the Tiny Hawk Camera 1?
Can I just say before Jack, Phil did his first solo flight on a 5-inch. He absolutely crushed it. Well done, Phil.
Well done, Phil.
Awesome. He taught me how to fly when I was 7 to 9.
Yeah, we've all heard about the kiddie fiddly stories.
Hey, no. He's a legit dude. He's the best.
I know.
Yeah,
we met him. He's a
and
dude.
he said 7-year-old Andy was too ugly to molest.
There you go. He's too ugly throughout. Yeah, and it's just gotten worse throughout my life. But he absolutely crushed it, and I'm in debt so much to that guy when it comes to, he taught me how to fly. So we sort of had a role reversal. My phone's buzzing at the moment, so no doubt he's sending me a message. He did a solo of a 5-inch model, and I'm giving him the model because he deserves it, man. So there you go.
Good luck to everyone at the champs this weekend. Have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Keep having fun, otherwise it gets too shit. So
Jack, you can change the camera of a Tiny Hawk.
Okay, cool. Right, thank you. You've been listening to Let's Drone Out. Thank you, everyone who's donated, kept this shit show afloat. Tonight, you've been joined by my little Tony. You actually managed to stay the whole episode. Well done, Tony.
Bonjour. Well, I can smell and taste now. Who muted me, bastard?
Yeah, what was that about, Tony? Let's do a bonus podcast about Tony's why he couldn't smell.
Andrew/Frank.
Why?
Curry Kitten.
Goodbye.
Andy RC.
Good evening, everybody.
And I've been Bright Fly Jack. Thank you very much, guys. I love you all. Thanks for listening. You guys rule. And catch you next week. Hopefully.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.